Yeah, that would be great. I'm really sorry about that. That's me.
That's okay. That's
Okay.
okay. Okay, so everyone knows now we are recording. This is recorded. I am Lori with Yoga for Scleroderma. We also have Kathy and Cheryl, and they will be introducing themselves in just a moment. I'm going to be staying off camera today because though I've had scleroderma for 20 years and I'm living relatively well with scleroderma, I also now have stage 4 lung cancer that has metastasized to my hips and my spine. And as part of yoga's self-care is to listen to your body. That's what I'm doing today. I don't have a ton of energy. I'm not feeling super perky and camera presentable. So you'll just be listening to me. And we have Cheryl and Kathy as the minions to do all of the presentations for you. They will cover pretty much every option that we have available because there are options for everyone. As long as you breathe or you can breathe, and even if that's not what you consider breathing well, you're still doing yoga, and that's why we're here. So with that said, that's my story. We'll have a Q&A at the end. If you want to ask any questions, I'm happy to answer any and all questions at the end. I'm not shy. I'm not nervous about any of that stuff. So I'm gonna turn it over to Kathy now so that she can tell the better Yoga for Scleroderma story, because she is the one that started this whole program. I'm just along for the ride. Cheryl's along for the ride. If we mention anything out loud to Kathy, she's the one that makes it happen, and we're just here when she tells us to be here. So she tells the story better. Kathy, I'm going to throw it over to you for your introduction.
Thank you. My name's Kathy Randolph, and I'm here in Mogul, Nevada. And in 2002, Lauren Lewis from the Scleroderma Foundation contacted me and asked me to present for the annual conference in July that was going to be held in Las Vegas, thinking that I could pop over, not realizing I'm at the other end of the state. And she found me because I had been presenting a program for physical therapists in Las Vegas called Integrating Yoga into Physical and Occupational Therapy. And so I prepared a program based on literature they sent me. I went on down to Las Vegas. They told me to expect about 30 people in my session, and I had 112. So people were interested. They asked if I could make a video. I said, sure. And we later made videos. And I presented at chapters and support group meetings and all in person. And then in 2017, I was introduced to Lori by someone on social media, and we had a phone call, and she flew to Reno, and we've been continuing ever since, because the new Yoga for Scleroderma, our teachers have scleroderma. I don't have scleroderma. Cheryl doesn't have scleroderma. We're well trained, but our other team members, Alexis and Pat, both have scleroderma. However, today they're at their teacher training continuing ed for 2023. So they're training away. So we now have a YouTube channel. We have a podcast with 19,000 downloads. That was Lori's idea. And we continue moving forward and hope that what you see here today works for you.
Cheryl,
my name is Cheryl.
It's your turn now.
Yeah. So my name is Cheryl Albright. I met Kathy in 2010, and she said, "Yay, you're an OT. Guess what?" And so I am the occupational therapist on the team for Yoga for Scleroderma, and have been in trainings with Kathy ever since. So I just make sure that what we're doing keeps people safe, and that there's no contraindications that I can think of anything that we present. And so, yeah, that's my role. I sometimes pop in. The reason we got introduced to the Canadian group was somebody attended one of my trainings back in Phoenix during one of the foundation's annual conferences. And so we've been kind of in touch, and then the pandemic happened and, you know, all of the things, but we're back, and luckily technology is caught up, so we can do everything virtual now.
Thank you, Cheryl. So that's our backstory of Yoga for Scleroderma. We are all spread all over the country. Actually, we're all over the world now. As Kathy has mentioned, we have teachers everywhere. We have all of our resources are free. Everything can be found on our webpage, yogaforscleroderma.com. During this presentation and this class, whatever we're calling it today, everything is GERD friendly. We've made all of the postures and asanas available to everyone, no matter what they have going on. If you need an option that we haven't presented, just let us know. We can figure one out. But Kathy and Cheryl should pretty much have everything covered. We have reclining options, we have chair options, we have standing options. Kathy has a setup behind her that shows being on the floor, but that's actually to simulate being on your bed so that you don't have to get up and down from the floor if that's a concern for you. She will also show you how to get up and down from the floor if that's a concern for you. So just know that those options are there. Cheryl will be in a chair and standing, I think, most of the time. Cheryl also does a lot of hand work. She actually does, I think, most of our hand work. Kathy will do some breathing and digestion. And again, I'll be behind the scenes and you'll get to hear me yapping along and narrating. So let's get started with some gentle breathing. I will talk if Kathy will demonstrate. Does that work for you, Kathy?
Mhm.
Okay, Kathy's up for that. So we have discovered here that most patients with scleroderma have some sort of breathing issues. So when you go to the doctor or you're in a regular yoga class or any situation where someone says to you, let's take a deep breath. One of the first things a lot of scleroderma patients experience is anxiety because we have a hard time breathing, and taking a deep breath can be painful. It can be hard to do. It can be impossible. So that gives us a little anxiety and kind of can make the rest of our day a little icky. So we have found a way to work with it, but in our own way. So if someone says we're going to take a deep breath, we are actually not going to take a deep breath. We are first going to exhale everything completely. Exhale it all out, empty your lungs, make sure you can push everything out as much as possible, and then simply just relax, because your body's innate ability to take care of itself, it will take an inhale all by itself. So once you've exhaled all of that out, you relax, your body's automatically going to inhale. It's going to fill your lungs. It's going to fill them clear down. You're going to feel your stomach expand up into your chest. You'll feel your chest expand, maybe even into your shoulders, if that's available for you on any given day. We call this a full diaphragmatic breath or a deep breath, whatever works for you. And this is how you get a deep breath. Again, you exhale it all out. Make sure you've exhaled completely, fully relaxed, not stressed. And then just relax. The inhale is going to come all on its own. And that just makes it so much easier. Practice that a couple minutes on your own. Just exhaling completely. Relax. And then notice how your body inhales all for you by itself. Cheryl will now present some range of motion for your neck, shoulders, hands, feet, spine, all of those important joints and bones and body parts that help keep us moving and living the best quality of life that we have. Cheryl, if you would like to take it away, you can go right ahead.
Sure, no worries. So we always do the breath first. Many individuals with scleroderma also have Raynaud's. I too have Raynaud's without the scleroderma diagnosis, and so does Kathy. So we can empathize a little bit. Breath comes first. Breath increases circulation. And so that's why we put it at the beginning. Many yoga classes have it at the end. They don't have to be. I would say if you're going to go out to a studio, go ahead and do your breath work in the car before you go in to do the movement, because it will help improve some of the circulation. So if we wanted to start with, she said I'm doing head, neck, and down. So we're going to start up and then work our way to our fingers. If we can loosen up some of the muscles in our neck, that helps relieve some of the pressure on the nerves. They go to our hands, all those cervical, all of these, innervate your arms. So if it's accessible to you and you can actually rub your hands together to create heat, you can do that. Some people use just something warm to just kind of like, hello, wake up. Our teacher, would joke around and say, you have to say hello to your body. And this is just one way to get it done. So it's kind of waking up the muscles first. The best you can with posture, you're in a comfortable seated position. If you're in a chair, great. If you're on the floor like me, that's fine too. In order to we have to get our shoulders back before we start working on our neck, right? A lot of us are like this naturally. This is where we want to sit. This is kind of how we stand. I know. And then everybody immediately is like, no, I'm right here. Like, it's fine. We all do this. It's called gravity, especially if you're top heavy. So all we want to do is tell this pectoral muscle to open up a little bit. And then see if we can bring our chin back, even just a little bit. And if you can stay here comfortably, then start moving your head and neck. So none of these postures are going to be too crazy. As you exhale, you can see if you can move a little bit further. We'll go to the other side. It doesn't matter how far you go, as we know, every day is different. Rotation, so looking over one shoulder. And looking over the other shoulder. The exhale helps relax your body. So if you can do it as you're exhaling and see if you can go just even a little bit further, or imagining yourself going a little bit further, that helps too. We tend to stay like this. So I don't tend to have people bring their chin down for too long. And I also don't like to hyperextend the neck either, because I don't have any medical records. Please, if you have any cages on your neck, please let us know now. But instead of trying range of motion, you can see if you can go up a little bit and bringing the chin back. Trying to get everything into alignment as best as it can. So it doesn't have to be it's actually just kind of a fraction of an inch is what you're looking for. Arms. So as we keep going, we've released hopefully some of these muscles up here, our shoulders, our neck. Shoulder flexion is the hardest part for a lot of people. So if you can I'm gonna back up. If you can get to about 90 and then you get stuck, a lot of times it's our shoulder blades. So it goes back to bringing the shoulders back down. Try with thumb pointing up. Inhale as you come up and then exhale as you come down. And same thing on the other side. And if you can't do full range of motion, you're just going to go in the best that you can. We're going to do one more on each side. Inhale, create space. Exhale, come back down. And the same thing out to the side. So palm facing, you can try palm facing up. If this is as high as you can get, great. If you can keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. You just go as high as your body will tolerate. And then the other side. We do both sides. We try to be as even as possible. And if you go slowly, you can actually focus on the muscles that are trying to be moved. Where are you feeling any kind of pull? And this is kind of like a seated cat-cow, but we're going to demonstrate that later. We're just going to bring those arms into the center and back out. So when we go to squeeze those shoulder blades, it's not, you're not throwing your chest forward. You're trying to pull your shoulder blades down. So think of the machine, the lat pull down machine at the gym. That's what you should feel in your back, is the shoulder blades actually coming down and closer together. Now that we've warmed all of that up, right? Hands. This always tends to be people's favorites. In yoga, we call them mudra. In therapy, we call them exercise. It's whatever setting that you're in. This is what people come to us the most for, I think. And so if you can place the palms of your hands together the best that you can. Now, some of you are going to be like this. That's okay. Just the best that they'll come together. If they're here, see if you can bring those elbows up and like push the pads.
Kathy, did you say you have a tennis ball handy?
I have a dog ball handy.
Hey, whatever works. That's what we're all about. Adaptation, right?
Like my dogs have balls everywhere. So yes, the ball can go right in the middle too.
I use a tennis ball in these situations that Cheryl's demonstrating with the dog ball. And I won't lie, my tennis ball that I use is actually shared between myself and my Shih Tzu. It's kind of whoever gets to it first. So again, we use what we have available, and I use a tennis ball.
The other option is if that's not available to you, you can actually, Kathy, can you demonstrate the push on your, you push down on your thigh. So exactly. And a gentle push down, you're going to go as far as you can tolerate. And I want you to look at your fingertips. So once they blanch or turn white, you're going to hold it for 3 more seconds and then release it. Janet Poole is the one that does the research for this at University of New Mexico. And so she actually says for this population, it actually has to be pushed a little bit further. Kind of made me cringe the first time. And I was like, my OT brain is saying, no, but this is, you actually have to push it a little bit. So the blanching is what happens when circulation gets cut off. All of us with Raynaud's, your fingertips turn white before they turn purple. And so you want that blanching to happen, count to 3, and then release. So it doesn't matter if you're doing what Kathy's doing, pushing against your leg, if you're using a tennis ball and really trying to push those fingers open. We're going to talk a lot about blanching in the next one too. So we did our elbows up. What we want to try to do is keep the pads of our palms together and separate our fingers. They almost look kind of like a flower. So the best that you can push these together, if they just don't, the ball comes back out and push against the ball. And you can push against the leg too. So Kathy is demonstrating the pushing against the leg. You hold your fingertips down and you push the palm up. Thank you, Kathy. So we here, trying to bring, if they're like this, that's okay too. Bringing your fingers together and separating the palms now. Like I said, we can do the same thing against the leg. That is not available. trying to roll a ball. I've seen Lori do things with the portable heaters, the hand warmers. You guys are all in Canada. I'm sure everyone owns one. And then relax. So you're really looking for the blanching of the fingertips. Yeah, we're going to try to get the circulation going back in them again. Like I said, you're not going to hurt anything if you go past that. You just want to go 1, 2, 3, or take 3 breaths. I'm really trying not to say deep breaths anymore. 3 breaths and then let it go. All right. Thumbs. This can be a big challenge, right? We need to keep those thumbs opposed so that we can use them. We need them for a lot of functional tasks. So I'm going to put my hands flat like this, like I'm holding something, cross the palms over and try to hook the thumbs. So it looks like a butterfly and tug. So you're trying to oppose them, right? And keeping an eye looking at the fingertips. So mine are turning red. Eventually they will turn a little shade of white. I'm gonna hold it for 3 and then relax. And then we'll switch which hand is on top and try it again. And then there it goes. So then take a breath and let it go and bring the circulation back to your thumbs. My personal favorite is this one. So if we had our hands together like this, you can bring them. So there's one here, so they're like touching each other. We're gonna try to grip our fingers and then pull. So the best that you can. If you can't do it with both hands, you're just gonna try to take the ball and pull.
Is there something else I can?
Oh, Siri, we don't need Siri. You can also do it with holding onto your wrist. Yes, so Kathy's showing the adaptation for that now. Mm-hmm. And we let the circulation come back. And
though these hand exercises can be challenging and can be scary because of circulation, these are some of the most important work that we do because we have clients and patients, we have testimonials on our webpage where some patients have maintained their hand function, some have actually improved it. If you can start hand exercises before they reach what I call the point of no return, there's a possibility that you can be one of those people. Kathy, can you speak to, not Diane, I forgot the other lovely lady that you work with. Can you talk about her hand exercises, please?
So Joanne?
Yes, please, thank you.
Yes, so Joanne had reached a state where it was actually becoming a problem in her daily life. And she was doing stretching and things. And so I showed her the series of hand exercises and she went for the whole set. She did everything here. So she was doing just flatten it out on her thigh. She was holding her fingers, lifting her palm. She was, and then pulling on the wrists, except she started doing them all the time. And then she's out to dinner with her husband and son and another couple, and they're having a wonderful time. And her friend looks over and says, "What are you doing?" And she was sitting there with her hand on her leg under the table, and she didn't even realize it. And she was able to regain some mobility in her fingers and significant mobility in her wrists. And she recorded videos with us in 2017. And it was me and Lori and Joanne. And she was And so we're about to do, I think it was the sun salutation. And we had been working together about a year at this point. And so it's like, okay, who's going to do, just like now, who's going to do props? Who's going to do floor? Who's going to do traditional? And Joanne said, I'll be the normal one. So I got to do props.
So yeah, so also disclaimer, I will consult with any occupational therapist you guys are seeing as well. And the kicker is if you do have Raynaud's and you're doing these exercises, your fingers are blanching, you don't want to splint those overnight because you're not able to monitor the circulation in your fingertips. And I know a lot of therapists are like, wear them at night so that we maintain the range of motion. The thing is, if it cuts off circulation to your fingertips, it's not good. You don't want to do that. We don't want to cause any, because then you can't feel a pressure sore, especially when you're sleeping. During the day, if that helps kind of open them up, I'm all for it, as long as you're monitoring your fingertips and it's not causing any pressure sores. If you don't have the Raynaud's concern, ignore everything I just said. So the last one I like to do is and this will be the last one for the hands, the invisible ball. So like trying to get our fingertips to come together and actually apply some pressure so that your fingertips blanch. And so this is a good, let's keep our hands open, isometric type exercise. And once they blanch, count to 3 or take 3 breaths and let go. Kathy is doing the modified version on the leg. Once again, you don't have to have an invisible ball, you can have a real ball. And I thank all of my doggos for having those available. If you have any questions, we do have a video where I do this and some assisted work with Alexis on the YouTube channel. So you don't have to write any of this down. You don't have to have it memorized. We have a video for you. Any
Excellent.
questions?
I've had numerous surgeries on my fingers to where they fuse the joints. So I don't know. I guess you can't really push on those.
I still do
No.
actually.
Oh, do
I've
you?
had all of the fingers on my right hand I have had completely straightened,
Mhm.
and on my left hand I've had partial amputations. And I still do all of the exercises the way Cheryl demonstrates with the ball. All of my ball work has actually come post-surgery.
Yeah.
So working with your OT or maybe contacting Cheryl and setting up a private to develop a system that works for you. And I can help out if you'd like as well, but they still can be done.
Okay, great.
Yeah, as long as if it hurts, don't do it.
Right.
Yes,
Like if it's
exactly
gonna cause
that.
damage, don't do it. And you know, some days they're more stiff than others. So you really have to kind of play with that. And like I said, those portable hand warmers are amazing.
Yes, we never want to do anything that causes actual ripping, tearing, searing sorts of pain. Because we have these limitations, we might feel a pain, a tug, not a big pain, but there might be some discomfort. Discomfort is the word that I use. I always go to the edge of discomfort, but nothing beyond that because I don't want to cause more damage. But the edge of discomfort will help you with your point of no return issues. So I think that that's good for range of motion and hands. Thank you so much, Cheryl. And Kathy is going to do some gentle reclining for digestion help, because I think it's safe to say that 90% of us also have digestion issues. So Kathy's going to help us regulate that.
Okay, so first off, this is your bed, because everything we're going to do reclining, we're watching out for GERD. So what I have here is an inclined plane made out of blankets. And what you want is something that doesn't slip. Now, if your bed is already on an inclined plane, that takes care of it right there. And that's why we are so enthusiastic about having you do your yoga in your bed, because it's all already set up. And the other thing is you just don't want anything slippery. These are wool blankets I got at a thrift store. And if wool isn't good next to your skin, throw a towel over it. And I'm going to introduce a breathing technique for digestion called Brahmari. Now, this is very, very old, and it consists of humming on the exhale. So, like Lori just taught us, you exhale completely, relax, let the inhale take care of itself, and then as you exhale, hum. And I know this is weird. As my teacher Lisa said to me, it's all weird. But Dr. Sundara Devial Balasubramanian, who is runs the Scleroderma research in South Carolina. So he has done a whole bunch of saliva tests. And so I've been telling people about this for years, and everybody just looks at me like I'm a wacko. And he comes in his suit and tie with his PowerPoint and his spit tests. And everybody in the room is like, So the reason for it is it increases salivation. So if you have dry mouth, dry throat, it's going to help with that. But saliva is what carries the digestive enzymes. And so doing this practice is increasing salivation and increasing the digestive enzymes to help improve your digestion. Now,
And
the
I can attest that, as weird and as strange as this may feel, it's actually very important and very helpful if you're using a lot of painkillers, because painkillers will increase your constipation issues. And I can say that I've had quite a few of those recently, because I've been using painkillers more than I would like. And so, yes, these I'm in my bathroom humming quite often these days.
So the whole practice I'm going to show you today, I mean, we have a lot of different ones, but actually a year ago, I did a whole program on yoga therapy for digestive health. And our co-teacher, Pat McMillan, was one of my case studies, and she's still doing it. So what we've done is kind of strip away all the stuff that was kind of okay. And we're going totally with the stuff that Pat has now been using for a year and has returned her digestion to a state where she is back traveling internationally for her wildlife photography. Her, shall we say, wild swings of digestion from huge diarrhea to total constipation were making it so that it was really difficult for her to travel. And so she is now back from New Zealand. She'll be in Easter Island in February. Then she's going to Florida, and she doesn't make it to Egypt until September. So I am reclining on an inclined plane. If you have a really nice recliner chair, this would work really good. And I am going to do several rotations. Now, the reason we're doing rotations is we want to move things up the ascending colon, across and down. So whenever you're doing a rotation or a twist, you always want to be compressing right side first. So I am relaxed on my inclined plane or my bed or my recliner. And the first one is just a gentle drift. My knees are just going to drift to the right. And you can hang here as long as you like, and then come back up, drift to the left. Now, each of these is going to become a little more vigorous. You're looking for the one you like. Now I'm going to cross my right leg over my left, and I am going to use that right leg as leverage to kind of push down a little. I can get the stretch higher up. Now I'm going to go all the way across. This will really get higher up on my right side. Now I'm going to reverse that. So now my left leg is going over. I'm going to rotate first. And then across. And now I'm going to present the most successful one we have ever had, which is constructive rest. What this does is relax the entire area surrounding the vagus nerve. Overstimulation of the vagus nerve invokes fight or flight. Okay, so fight, you hold everything, tense everything up. Okay, flight, generally, in order to run faster, your body empties itself. So, you know, you may have one, you may have the other, or you may have wild swings between them. In constructive rest, I stack my knees against each other. My feet are a little wide. I'm relaxed on my inclined plane. And this releases this entire area. Now, to take it even further, I'm going to start out with my hand, one on my chest, one kind of across just below my diaphragm, so that I can really focus on the breath. And that complete exhale and then inhale of the full diaphragmatic breath is a massage for the entire area that simulates walking. Walking is the natural action that keeps us regular. And believe it or not, if you are not able to go out walking, like here, the snow is too deep, you can get some of that motion, some of that internal massage with your breath. And so I am exhaling completely. Relax, let the inhale take care of itself. And your hands are mostly to bring your attention. And then I'm going to hum. So this is the yoga approved method. Now we're going to move into the what's Pat actually doing to make this all work. She also likes having both hands kind of warming the area. But her newest favorite is you bring your legs up a little higher. This section right between the ball of your thumb and the heel of your hand, you put over your hip bone, and then you tuck the outside edge of the heel of your hand into the crease of your hips. And so she was walking me through this yesterday. And what that does is suddenly my hands are just kind of held in place. My shoulders, my elbows, my chest have entirely relaxed. So this has become Pat's yoga practice, morning and evening, and we're talking maybe 5 minutes. And it has resolved. Her digestion was just constant wild swings from diarrhea to constipation, diarrhea to constipation. And it was really interfering with her travel. And that is our presentation on digestion. And we have it all on video. So we have an entire playlist on digestion. So you don't have to be able to remember it. You can always go back and review.
Thank you, Kathy. That was wonderful. And now we're going to do some strengtheners for the core and the quads so that you can get in and out of the car, up and down from a chair, on and off the toilet. And these aren't generally going to be as gentle as we would like to think that they are, but they're doable and they're effective.
So you
Kathy?
can do, yeah, you can do these either in a chair or reclining. Okay, reclining is better because you can get more push against your low back, but you can also do them in a chair. And so once again, I'm back in my bed on my inclined plane. I'm going to exhale and press my low back flat against the surface below me. If you're in the chair, you really move back. Then I'm going to press my low back flat, bring my right knee up. Now my knee is pushing towards me. My hand is pushing away from me to a count of 8. Now, keeping my back flat, I'm putting my leg back down. Now I'm going to repeat on the same side and push. Now, you're strengthening your core, you're strengthening your quadriceps. And release. Last one on the right side, low back flat and push. And release. Now you can see Cheryl is doing the exact same thing in a chair. Now we're moving to the left side, low back flat and push. And release. Repeat left side and push. And release. Last one on the left, push. And release. Now that's a great place to start. If you want to get into the side obliques, you're going to alternate. So now I'm going to bring up my right knee, left hand, and push. And release. Right knee, left hand, and push. And release. Now here comes the hard one. Both knees at the same time. So bring them up one at a time and push. Cheryl is getting an enormous workout even if she doesn't push, just trying to get those knees up off the chair. And then bring them down one at a time. Okay, so if you're watching it, it doesn't look like much, but it is incredibly effective. You will notice a significant change in about 30 days. And it just takes a few minutes. I do it first thing in the morning before I get out of bed. And it helps me maintain quadricep and core strength, which is everything you need to get out of a chair, out of a car, out of a big cushy sofa. And Lori, are you there?
Sorry, I was talking away. Thank you for catching that.
Oh, okay.
So thank you for that. Do you have time, or do you want to quickly demonstrate 2 chairs or the use of straps and the push-up bar? Or do you want to move
Absolutely.
into guided relaxation?
I think what these are is adaptations. A lot of times, well, okay, what we're doing is teaching you either how to do a yoga practice at home or how to go to a yoga class. But when you go to a yoga class, you want to go to the class all your friends go to. So we have a couple of tricks and tips that will get you back into that yoga class with your friends. Now, what if you don't get down and up off the floor? Another favorite example is Pat McMillan, our photographer, who does not get down and up off the floor. And I always love this in teacher trainings when I point out that it's not always the diagnosis. Pat doesn't get down and up off the floor because she racked her right knee out on a 10-hour hike in Antarctica to take pictures of 6-foot-tall penguins. And she has scleroderma. But that's not, but so often lots of people don't get down and up off the floor. It's not that they're not strong, it's that they've got a joint that makes that dangerous. So Cheryl is now demonstrating a new floor, either in your own home, if you're working with a video or something, and people are doing floor poses. Cheryl is now sitting on the floor. She can now do any floor pose you're looking at without getting down and up off the floor. And almost every yoga studio you go to, they have chairs for props. Set the two chairs up facing each other on a yoga mat so they don't slip. And when we teach, a lot of times what we like to do is we have two mats next to each other. One has the two chairs on it for that kind of floor work. I had a person come to my class and she had called to make sure she could do the whole thing in a chair. Absolutely no problem. And I look over and she's on the floor. And afterwards, I was making sure she was the person I had been talking to. And I said, but I see you were on the floor. And she said, oh, well, I went to a yoga class and they kept hopping up and hopping down and hopping up and hopping down. If you give me 3 minutes notice and a chair, I can get down and up off the floor. So the chair can be part of getting down and up, but you can also just do everything right up there on those chairs. Now, the other things that we have that might make a big difference for you is push-up bars. These are Lori's. And what these
And
are,
these are what I used to use to get up and down off the floor because I had scleroderma, because my hands and my wrists don't bend. Now I will forever be using what you see Cheryl using, the two chairs, because getting up and down on the floor is no longer an option for me, not because of scleroderma, but because I have a large hole in my hip from my cancer tumor. So not even scleroderma related, but I can no longer get up and down from the floor safely. So I will be using Cheryl's method, but the method Kathy is showing you has served me for 5 to 10 years, and it worked beautifully every time.
so what these are little workout push-up bars, but I don't have to be able to bend my wrist to put my hands on the floor. So if you are going to a class, Joanne uses these. So say I wanted to do the cat-cow. My wrists do not need to bend. What about down dog? What about down dog with a wall? All those wall work that you don't do because your wrist won't bend, these will take care of it, and they cost $16. Now, down dog with a chair. If you're going to a class and they have chairs, but you're not putting your wrists on the floor, Cheryl is now doing down dog. She's doing it with her forearms. Now she's going to do it just with wrists, fists down. And then the back of the chair. This is one of my all-time favorites because your hands are up there. You actually look like you're doing. I mean, you can see it. And the reason we bring up down dog is I think it's one of the big barrier poses. It's one of the things that, you know, all these people who just like hop up and down off the floor, like, you know, a bunch of bouncing preschoolers. In the classes I teach, we get down and up off the floor once. And a lot of people don't. We just use these chairs. So these are just some things. And then the other thing that you'll often see used in yoga classes are straps. And we have these Lori found for us. So these are 100% cotton. And you don't have to be able to grip anything. They have loops. So if I wanted to do a hamstring stretch, using a strap to get a little more stretch, I don't have to be able to close my hands or grip anything to make that work. And so Joanne came to private yoga for scleroderma classes with me for about a year. And then she put this strap and these push-up bars in her over-the-shoulder purse. And now she goes to yoga classes over on Neal Road with Patty, a fabulous teacher, because that's where her 5 friends go. And we get together about once every 3 months and have lunch.
Now, can I interrupt just because I've been monitoring the chat and there's been a couple of questions. So they're called push-up bars, yes?
And
Yeah.
there's a link to this exact set on our webpage.
Right.
We do not get commissions, and we change what we have on the webpage every time Lori finds something better.
Okay.
And they cost
And-
about $16 from Amazon. This costs about 10.
And the link for the strap is on the webpage too?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, great.
all of our props and any adaptations that we've shown you are on the webpage under props and tips and tricks, I think, or something like that. All of our resources are free and everything can be found at yogaforscleroderma.com. Free to you. We don't make any money off of it. Everything we offer is out of the kindness of our hearts and the fact that we want everyone to have great quality of life.
So that was just, I think we've shown you chairs, the push-up bars and the strap. And then Lori uses a ball for a lot of things. And if you are looking for stuff like this can be blankets. This could be your couch cushions. I'm a big fan of recliners myself. I think they work really well. And if you're already in it, you might as well do some yoga.
Yes.
Why not?
And a lot of people do it first thing in the morning. Okay, if you wake up, especially if you live, where like right now it's cold, you can just do an awful lot of what we've shown you under the covers before you get up first thing in the morning while everything is still warm, as opposed to getting out of bed and letting everything tighten up on you. So
Yes,
I'm a
we
huge,
actually have on our YouTube channel, Kathy has actually created a playlist, and one of our videos is called Before Your Feet Hit the Floor. And it's a 10 to 15 minute sequence that Alexis and I do variations of every morning before we even get up and get running. Running, that's funny. Neither of us are running anywhere anytime soon, I don't think, but you get the point. None of this is so that you can put your foot behind your head or do anything crazy, because we don't need to do that. I need to be able to put my socks on in the morning. I need to be able to feed my cats and my dogs and my horses. And Alexis has a 2-year-old running around that she needs to be able to take care of. Cheryl has a zoo of her own. I think Cheryl's got 3 dogs now, Cheryl. So yeah,
Yeah.
even without scleroderma, she needs to be able to run around and live her life. And that's what all of this is for. So Kathy,
You
Cheryl,
didn't
did
see
we
how the
miss anything?
occupational therapist kind of trickled in here, right?
Okay, ladies, did I miss anything?
did we want to do full range of motion for the spine? Because I think we do have a few minutes.
Okay, if we did not do that, Cheryl, Kathy, I think you both can
Right. So
piggyback on that one.
Cheryl's going to jump into the chair. I'm going to get back in my bed on my lovely in-kind plane. And in yoga, okay, we like to take the spine through a full range of motion. So forward bend, back bend, side bend, and twist to maintain mobility. So we're going to start out with our forward bend. Now, forward bend is knee comes to your chest, but so you don't have to like stand up and, do this crashing thing or sit on the floor and try and stick your face on your knee. You lay down or sit and bring your right knee up to your chest. I'm now getting a wonderful stretch for my back all the way down into my hip and my hamstring. If you want to get just crazy, you can straighten your leg. Now, when you're straightening your leg, you might want to use that strap. But remember, if you flex your ankle and straighten your knee, I'm getting a hamstring stretch here. I don't need to touch my face on my knee. What I need to feel is a big stretch up the back of my thigh, the back of my calf down into my foot. And then other side. So knee to chest.
And again,
then
you should feel a stretch, but you should not feel any searing pain, any tearing pain, like anything is ripping. Please do not push that far. Go to the edge of what's comfortable and don't go further.
Then I demonstrated a twist done on the floor. Cheryl's now going to demonstrate a twist seated in the chair. And you'll notice she's doing this one. You take a hold of the chair, look at that great twist in the spine. Here, I'd be doing, this one happens to be my favorite because I can use this leg as leverage, get a little extra stretch. So you exhale going in, breathe while you're there, inhale coming out, and change sides.
Always remembering to breathe. Don't hold your breath.
Now we're going to introduce a side stretch. Now, when I'm sitting on my bed, you know, there's all those cross-legged and weird yoga poses, but this one seems to work for a lot of people. What you want is to be able to sit up and you can hang on to your legs. Cheryl is doing this one in a chair. And so I'm going to put my right hand down, left arm up. Now, if your arm is preventing you from moving because it's tight, put your hand right down across your chest, because this is what we're trying to stretch. So don't let shoulder tightness prevent you from stretching your side. If your arm will move up, that's wonderful. Or here. And then other side. Inhale up, exhale over. This is what we're trying to stretch and get some good mobility in the shoulder. And come back up. Now we have a back bend. So I hope nobody's looking for me to, like, you know, do one of those standing things where you throw your hands back. Okay, not only can I not do that now, I never could. But cat-cow is probably my all-time favorite back bend with core strengthener. So Cheryl's going to do it in a chair. I'm going to do it in this seated position. You can do it with your arms out. And so there. This is also the one, if you kneel, now you may not kneel on the floor because the skin is pulled so tight over your knee, it wouldn't be a good idea, but kneeling on your bed may work fine. And so cat and cow. Now, when you're arching, you're really controlling your spine all the way down, the same as you move into cow, the sway back. So this is not only a wonderful back bend, it's a really good core strengthener as well. And Cheryl is doing it in the chair with various arm positions. And personally, I think this is the most effective back bend I do. It may not look real cool, but it keeps things moving. It keeps everything moving. Now, we've introduced forward bending, back bending, side bending, and twisting. We like to have an inversion in yoga to circulate the lymph system. However, with GERD, we do not want you putting your head lower than your hips. So a lovely inversion is laying on that inclined plane and putting your feet up the wall or over a stack of blankets. So if I had a chair right there or another stack of blankets, what you're trying to get is large muscles higher than your heart, higher than your head. That's an inversion. You don't have to do headstand. We just want to circulate the lymph system at the end of the practice. And so I realize that I've told you that you should really spend an awful lot more time laying around in your bed. But it works.
And that's okay, because we have, like right now, I'm a prime example of, I've been spending a lot of time laying around in my bed, and I'm still doing yoga, and I'm getting up and doing, I have a space in my room where I get up and do it, but a lot of it is done from right here in the bed. And I have a ball. Well, I actually think Cooper has a ball right now, but I do have a strap laying around over here somewhere. And I'm doing a lot of twisting and stretching, and it's kind of what's helping get me through the days.
And before we dive into Lori's deep relaxation, were there questions? And then we'll have time for questions after too.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Right
just
now, let's
wondering,
do questions based on the yoga.
I was just wondering if that strap is stretchy, the one that you put on your wrists?
No,
No, it isn't. Okay.
nuh-uh. But it's 100% cotton.
Yeah,
We were
like,
looking for things that weren't
yeah,
abrasive.
they're not abrasive. Yeah.
Well, Lori, I'd
Okay.
say it's time
Yeah,
for,
if there are no other yoga related questions, we can go into a guided relaxation, because though it's important to keep our scleroderma bodies moving, it's also important to relax and de-stress, because if you don't know it, if you have a conversation with your rheumatologist, they're probably going to tell you that stress is one of your bigger triggers for scleroderma. It is one of my triggers, and it is a trigger for a lot of people. So if we can find some time to just bring it all back to center, calm our bodies, calm our minds, everything is going to help. So we're going to take a few minutes. I'll lead you through a nice little guided relaxation, and then we'll have questions and answers about anything that you guys would like, pretty much. So you can leave your camera on or off if you'd like. Most of us will turn ours off. If you can find some quiet space, get rid of any outside distractions if you can. If you can't, that's okay, because we all live lives and life happens, and we do what we can with what we've got, right? Okay. So go ahead and find a comfortable position. You don't have to be seated, even though most meditations that you'll see, the person meditating is seated if possible. And that's okay. It's whatever works for you during this time. This is your meditation. Make it about you, not about anybody else. So you just want some peace and some quiet, a way to orient your body where you can be comfortable for an extended period of time. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. And you can orient your body in any number of positions. You can be seated if you'd like. You can sit directly on the floor, on a cushion, a stool, a chair. You can lie down on your sofa, your recliner, your inclined plane. You can walk around if you'd like. You can color, you can doodle, you can draw. Again, it's just your time to come to some peace and quiet. And settle in. Working on that deep diaphragmatic breath that we talked about earlier. You exhale completely. And then relax. And let the inhale come all on its own. Notice with each exhale that your stomach softens, your shoulders might relax, your chest might drop. And that's okay. It's meant to happen. And then go ahead and relax. Allow your body to do that complete full inhale. Your stomach may rise. Your chest and your shoulders may expand. And you're just going to breathe. You don't want to try to change this or alter this. Just let it be as natural, relaxed, and smooth as possible. Exhaling completely. Let it all out. Empty the lungs. And just relax. Knowing that you're safe here. You're calm. With each full breath cycle, your body's settling deeper and deeper into this relaxation. Your mind might be finding some silence other than the sound of my voice. And your body may be settling into some deep relaxation. Your muscles become heavy and warm. And you're just here breathing and relaxing. You have nowhere else to go, nowhere else to be. This is your time, right here, right now. And just breathe. Each inhale brings more relaxation, cleanses the body. You're safe here, calm, at peace, deeply relaxed. And now you've created this time in your calendar, and you found this space where you can find some silence and stillness. We're not looking for a completely quiet and empty mind. Thoughts may come in, to-do lists, emails, return phone calls may try to rear their ugly little head, or outside distractions can arise. Pets may interrupt you. Children may need tending to. Partners may need tending to. It's okay. It's part of life. We all have them. Just acknowledge that thing that has happened, but don't give it any more attention or energy. It's not something you need to fix right now. It's not something that you need to tend to in this moment. You can wait until you're done. Until you're done taking care of you. So again, just acknowledge the distraction and then let it go, knowing that it'll still be there when you're done here. Bring your attention back to your breath. Let the inhale and the exhale calm you. Just breathe and relax. Safe, calm, at peace, and deeply relaxed. And as it's time to return to your daily level of alertness and activity, allow the same relaxing breath reinvigorate and re-energize the body. Allow each inhale to bring in new, refreshing energy. Maybe now you notice the sounds and the smells in the room around you. Feel the new energy flowing through your muscles. Where it feels good and right and maybe necessary. Go ahead and move or stretch your body parts. Wiggling any parts of your extremities that feel good and necessary. When you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Take in the sights and the colors of the room around you. Move your body however you feel good and necessary. Or don't. Just stay here and just breathe. This is still your time. Do with it as you will. Take note, though, of how you currently feel, physically and mentally. And know that any or all of these practices can be returned to at any time that you feel the need. And allow your current feelings of relaxation to cultivate loving kindness within yourself for yourself. And then spread that loving kindness to your friends and your loved ones, your family, then to your local community, and then let that ripple out to the bigger community and the world around you. Allow these current feelings of loving kindness and deep relaxation to carry you through with peace and calm. May we all be healthy. May we all be well. And thank you for coming to this session and this webinar. Okay, well, everyone, I think welcome back. I think now that we're into the place where we can take questions on anything, remember that everything that we offer can be found on our website, free of charge to you. We're always available to come back and present like this. You can always reach out to Kathy, myself, even Cheryl, even though she's the super busy one of us all. Kathy and I are usually your best first point of contact. But yes, we're always here. We are free of charge and here to help you keep your bodies moving and living with the best quality of life that you possibly can. So now we'll open it up to Kathy and Cheryl first. If I missed anything and I have anything you'd like to add, feel free. Otherwise, questions are perfectly acceptable.
I just want to make a comment. I was trying that humming and I was amazed at how much saliva I actually had in my mouth. So thank you for that. That's a huge takeaway for me because Sjogren's is pretty brutal. So that is something that I will be doing in the middle of the night when my mouth is stuck. So thank you.
I really appreciated the little segment you did where it talked about, and not that I think I'm going to do it anytime soon, but just, you know, if you want to be getting back into a class, if you were, you know, if you used to go to classes and you're wanting to get back into a class, here are some of the things that you can do. I found that really helpful, and for me, kind of hopeful, optimistic, because maybe at some point, yes, I'll get to the point where I can get myself back into a class and have that nice sort of, you know, group relaxation feeling, because that's always really lovely too. I did have one question. The sessions that do you do any live practice, or is it strictly the stuff on your YouTube channel, that stuff that you've pre-recorded?
We have 2 live Zooms every week. They're guided relaxations. And then we present live like this for chapter and support groups every time we're invited. And it all started out live. We do have teachers all over the world. Although our closest in Canada is in Toronto, but you can also contact us. And the reason we don't do vigorous yoga practices is because we can't see you. And so, for example, I teach here, Lori teaches, Cheryl teaches. So we have local. Now, locally here, we are still either outdoors or phone or Zoom. We do, so we have pre-recorded, and we do come live to support groups like this. And then we teach live in our own locations in person.
I have stayed virtual with the Scleroderma community because my office also has kids and other groups that come in. And if you're at all immunocompromised, the state of Florida is not the safest in general. So please do not come into my studio.
Yeah, and we're outdoors. And so this time of year, it's a little more limited. On the other hand, most of my students are really active people. And so we all dress like we're going snowshoeing. And in the summer, we meet at 7 a.m. I mean, just because it's so hot later. And then I would like to mention that we have like 180 videos. We have, Lori has 130 podcasts that are like the guided relaxation she just did, which you can download or listen to. And they're all free, and we'd be happy to return for live.
Well, I can pretty much guarantee that, I mean, just based on how I feel now after having done that, I can pretty much guarantee that, yeah, I'm going to be calling you guys up again to see if you can come and do another session for us. So we'll make it probably not super regular, but we'll try to make it something that we do maybe, you know, once or twice a year, that we invite people to practice and sort of send them in your direction, because I think you guys have a load of fabulous resources for people in our community, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, thank you. And there's 5 of us. So, you know, we can very regularly show up. You just may get a different, you know, I mean, Alexis and Pat are simply both in a training today.
Yeah.
So Cheryl did Alexis's part and I did Pat's part.
Well, you did fabulously well, I have to say.
And so we would love to come back, because this is probably our biggest outreach, other than our pre-recorded stuff, is joining people for chapter and support group meetings.
Okay, great, good to know. Good to know.
Well, that's how you met Lori.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. That is how I met Lori. Yeah.
And again, this is all about quality of life. So if we can come to you from afar and still get together and keep everyone safe, we are down for that.
Good. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions or comments or?
I just wanted to say that I really appreciated the adaptive devices. I do practice a lot of yoga, but I am finding like the wrists and the getting up and down a lot. So I've actually just ordered the cotton strap now, because that has been something that has been like, it has really hurt like my wrists a lot. So that's helped me a lot already. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
You're so welcome. That is so great to hear. That strap has actually become very, very handy in many ways. I'm currently using it to help get in and out of bed, actually. So perfect. I'm so glad that it can be used. And if you find any extra uses for it, drop us a note and let us know, because anything that we can, you know, learn to use it to adapt and modify with, we're happy to do that.
You can use it like a leg lifter, like you've seen after like a total joint replacement. You can use it the same way, and then you don't have to have your hands involved, which is what I like. And I've
Yep.
used it in rehab settings as well.
I'll be using those push-up bars in my garden.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. Yeah. And what Joanne really liked is they fit in just, you know, she just put them in an over the shoulder bag. And because her the biggest thing she was having problems with in her yoga class was getting down and up off the floor and wrists. And she just pops them out and let her return to the yoga class. I mean, we really enjoy doing yoga together, but you know, she wants to go to the class she always went to with the friends she always went with.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Well, I think I'm going to say that it's 11:30, so we're bang on time, which is great. I'm going to give you a big, huge shout out and thank you again. This has been really wonderful. And we're thrilled because this has been one of our best attended sessions in terms of the support groups. We weren't sure how it would go on a Saturday. We've never done one on a Saturday before, so I'm glad to see that there certainly is an appetite for it on a Saturday, that maybe that fits into some people's schedules a little better than an evening. So we're probably going to play around with that a little bit too. So thank you again. For those of you, just in case, I will be sending an email out to everybody that attended the session with some of the information that we learned and links to the website. But the website is yogaforscleroderma.com. And
I just put it in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And so once again, I will say thank you. And yeah, there it is. I will say thank you. I'm seeing a message here from Yun Xian. Thank you so very much. This is helpful and enabling. I really appreciate the tips and information. The humming the devices using 2 chairs is such a great idea. Thank you. Thank you. So yes, I think people have really appreciated
Mhm.
all the tips that you've given us.
Well, and I see Isabel Alexander is here. I think she's come to our Zooms a couple of times.
Oh, fabulous. Okay.
Yeah. And so maybe we'll see you at one of our live Zooms. And really look forward to being invited back.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Kathy. And it's been a pleasure dealing with you folks as well. Very, very helpful, but at the same time, relaxed about the whole thing. So yeah, it's great. We had a little bit of a technical issue and it was completely my fault this morning, and everybody stayed very relaxed through the whole thing. So that was great once we got it fixed. Okay, I am going to go ahead and end the recording. Let me see how I do that.